Yo, what's up guys, Stardust Yu-Gi-Oh! Here. Today we'll be talking about my top 10 GX era Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters. These are the cards from the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX era that I liked most in the game. So the GX era has been a while ago by now. And really it started with the Lost Millennium and ended with Phantom Darkness if I'm not mistaken. Or was Light of Destruction that ended it? Pretty sure it actually was Light of Destruction. Yeah, Light of Destruction actually ended it. But yeah, it was quite the era in the game. Initially it started out a bit slow, but towards the end, well, Phantom Darkness with Dark Armed Dragon, Light Destruction with Judgment Dragon, yeah, quite some powerful boss monsters indeed. But yeah, today I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite monsters from this era, mostly based on design and effects, so yeah, let's get started. So number 10 we have Destiny hero, Malicious. Now it's no surprise that I'm a fan of heroes, especially Malicious has seen a lot of plays over the years. Sadly, it's semi-limited at the moment, unjustified of course. Don't think it should be, but Konami does Konami things. Maybe next ban list it swaps back to 3, but then in a few ban lists go back to 2 again. Because that's the tradition with this card constantly goes from 2 to 3. So it's what it always has done. Basically, you can banish it from the graveyard to summon Destiny Hero Malicious from your deck, and then if you run 3 copies you can do that twice, and I think that's really nice. But yeah. It isn't that special, so it's only my number 10, but it is a really nice card. I've seen a lot of plays over the years. Even in modern eras, the card is still useful. So my number 9 is Elemental Hero Stratos. If you've played the GX era, or if you have played Heroes, you will love this card. It's a simple Elemental Hero effect. It searches another Elemental Hero, or well, actually any hero. Or equal to the other hero monster control, you can destroy spell traps. Both effects at times have been useful, nowadays it's mostly just a searcher. Now, this searcher is really nice as it's one of the few ways that heroes truly have reliable searches. Yes, you have Shadow Mist and Emergency Call, but those mostly only really exist to search elemental heroes. Okay, Shadow Mist also searches any hero, but you get the point. This was the original searcher for heroes, and it's the card that really made them a strong archetype. And I don't know, I just like it, and it's a very iconic card for this game. Definitely if you think of the most iconic Yu-Gi-Oh! Card from GX era, this would probably be at the top. So my number 8 is Cyberdragon. Some people dislike this card, some people love it. I just like it. It's a simple effect. Just set your opponent's attack, special summon it if your opponent controls a monster, boom. Just makes going second that much easier, at least at those times. It was a very strong card. Some necessary power creep. The game was in a bit of a boring state before this card came out. This card kind of fixed the game and added some more interesting boss monsters to the game. I don't know, I just think this card is cool. It's a very simple effect, very simple art. Especially the deck back then, at least. Nowadays it's more of a boring Xyz hybrid. But back then it was a really cool fusion deck as well. I don't know, I just think this card is badass in general. So my number 7 is Ryza, the Storm Monarch. Now this is one of the strongest Monarchs back then. This one's very simple, you can target a card on the field and stack it on the top of the deck. So this doesn't just remove a card, it also forces your opponent to hit hard again. So if it's like a 3-bit summon monster, then might just break. Or if it's something like a 3-bone frog that was left on the in the field for some reason, could just break them. Or if they have a floodgate, you can just remove it. It's a very versatile card, able to remove almost any threat from the board. And yeah, I just really liked it. I've always been a fan of the original Monarchs. The new Monarchs are a bit boring, but those ones were really cool, and I think this one is definitely my favorite. So next up, my number 6 is DD Survivor. Now, I always have been more of a DD Survivor kind of guy. I really like this card. Simply because I used to play Chaos-like decks. And then those, DD Assailant was... Wait, did I say... Which card do I mean? Yeah, DD Survivor, I made a mistake. DD Survivor. I don't know, it was a staple in quite some decks I played, so for those who don't really know what DD Survivor does, I need to look it up actually while I record these videos, so they're like, wait, what does DD Survivor exactly do again? Because I used it a lot back then, but what did it do again? Just a Dark Warrior, 1800 attack. During the end phase, if this card is banished while face up on your side of the field, this turn special summon this banished card. This effect can only be activated once per turn. So I'm not sure exactly what I used it for, but I played some kind of Chaos variant that really used this card. I just really liked it. High attack, keeps returning to the field. Also playing other banished cards, of course, to work with this card. I don't know, I just really liked it. DD Survivor. I think this card is cool, and yeah. So my number 5 is 3-bone frog. You can't have all these Monarchs without listing 3-bone frog in here. This was the huge part of Frog Monarch. I mean, it's called Frog Monarch for a reason. The 3-bone frog is just really iconic. So what basically it does is if you control no face down spell traps, or well, if you don't control any spell traps, you can revive from the grave in your standby phase. Basically that means you get a tribute folder every single turn. It does some other cool interactions as well. If you have enemy control, you can tribute it to steal a opponent's monster and then revive it again, because that's definitely actually how it works. It's a very cool designed card, the art is nice, and it's just a very strong card in general that enabled a really cool strategy for Monarch. So my number 4, I'm not sure if I should be placing this card on the list or not, and at what place, but I just really like it, but also don't like it. And this card is Light and Darkness Dragon. Now this was really the first big negate monster, realistically speaking. And the gates are what kind of ruined Yu-Gi-Oh! But this card in particular was really cool. So you need 2 tributes to even tribute summon this. It floats and destroys your nukes your field. Nukes your field, right? Destroys all cards you control, then special summons a monster that you target. And yeah. So it's 28 under attack when you're and 24 on the defense when a spell or trap cards activated or effective effect monsters activated. You must negate it and lose 5 attack and defense. This negate is not optional, it is once per chain. I believe that's once per chain. Yeah, so it doesn't actually list that on the actual effect. Sweet, thanks Gnome. But I believe that's once per chain, if I'm not mistaken, might not be. But yeah, there was a lot of... I just like this, just a big main deck boss monster. It's really cool, I think. Number 3 is Destiny Hero Plasma, or some like to call it Destiny Hero Blood D, the OCG name, which was way cooler. Of course, Blood is scary, you can't have it in the TCG, so Destiny Hero Plasma. But yeah, this is a really cool boss monster, so this requires you to tribute 3 monsters. Special summon it, it's not a tribute summon. And it's basically a one-sided skill tree that can also steal a monster. I just really like it, it's an old boss monster that is quite strong, but not completely unfair, and with recent support, like D-Force, it is able to 3-play again. I don't know, I just really like it, especially since around the release people thought this card was bad, it's unrealistic to summon, it requires too much effort to summon. Yet this card ended up being a great boss monster. My number 2 is quite iconic, it was even played into the 5Ds era. My number 2 is Gaius the Shadow Monarch. Now, unlike Rise, it just banishes a monster or card straight up. If it's a Dark Monster, it also deals 1000 burn damage, which, with how many Dark Monsters are in Yu-Gi-Oh! That sometimes did come up, and that can be relevant. 1000 damage is a lot of damage, actually. So yeah, the art of this card is just really sick. I like its simplicity, just banish a card. Which is the best way to get rid of threats like a Cyberdragon. That's also why it was one of the reasons why it was popular in the 5Ds era, just being able to get rid of basically everything. And yeah, this card just looks sick. I love it. I really do like this card. Now finishing off, my number 1, of course, if you know me, you should know this one. That's the Aero Diamond Dude. I just like the game-breaking effect of this card. So what's potentially you can activate the top card of your deck, and if it's a spell, set it to the graveyard, otherwise place it at the bottom of your deck. During your next standby phase, or yeah, I believe, no, actually during your next turn or during your next standby phase, you can activate the card of that effect. You can activate the effect of that card in the grave. So let's say you get beginning of the end, which states banish a lot of cards, draw so many cards, draw 3. With Diamond Dude, you skip the cost, so you just draw 3. It really breaks a lot of spell cards, and I like that because it's never been too good. Well, originally when it was released, Diamond Dude Turbo, of course, was a thing. But nowadays it's just a really cool card, has a lot of nice interactions. It's just a really creative card design, and I like that. Cards that are out of the box, basically. So that's my top 10 monsters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX era. Any I missed? Well, naturally, this is my own personal taste, so naturally I missed cards. If you have any cards you like that I did mention, tell me in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Starting out. Peace.